Hello, this is Political Forum for Wednesday, May 23rd. Today we welcome 21st Ward Alderman Howard Brookins Jr. Thank you for appearing on our Political Forum, Alderman.
Thanks for having me.
Good. I'm Carolyn Day, a board member here at CAN TV, and you're watching a live interactive program brought to you as a community service by CAN TV. Be sure to tell your friends that they can also watch this show online at cantv.org/hotline. We welcome your questions and comments today for Alderman Brookins by calling us at 312-738-1060. During the next 25 minutes, we'll try to get in as many of your calls as possible on the air. Here's the contact information for Alderman Brookins. If you weren't able to get that information, we'll show it again throughout the show. Again, Alderman Brookins is the alderman for the 21st Ward. Alderman Brookins, welcome.
Thanks, Carolyn, for having me. It's good to be here again.
So we have a few questions that we want you to share with the people.
And I got a few answers.
Great. So City Council gives the green light for the Obama Center.
I'm ecstatic about that.
Right.
And I'm ecstatic about that because as someone who is socially conscious, every major city that we go to, every city that we go to and take our kids to, we always want to find out what the black culture is of that city. I don't think that there is anybody I know that has gone, for example, to Memphis and not gone to the Lorraine Motel. Mm-hmm. I think if you go to D.C., you have to go to the new African American Museum, and you also have to go visit the statue of Martin Luther King. And so this will be another draw. We have a president now, President 45, who is hell-bent on destroying the legacy of Barack Obama and dismantling everything that he's done, whether it is environmental regulations, whether it is with respect to health care. But what he can never take away and what will remain the legacy of Barack Obama is he is the first non-white male president of the United States, and that legacy, and people will talk about that just like they talk about George Washington being the first president of the United States. And so I believe that for centuries to come, people will come to the city of Chicago and want to see and visit that museum, and it will bring economic vitality to the community forever.
Wonderful, thank you. So the City Council is looking at building a police training academy in the 37th Ward, and there's a public backlash to this project. What's your opinion?
I think that the training facility needs to be built. That there is a synergy. I believe that development begets development. People didn't understand why I fought so hard, for example, to bring Walmart and other big box retailers to the 21st Ward, because I knew if I got one, I could get the next one. And if I got two, I could get something else, and convince people to invest in the 21st Ward. Same thing with respect to this. This is a blighted area in Emma Mentz's ward. Hundreds of people will come. It's a $95 million investment into her ward and into her community. And I think that the synergy about that investment will get other people to invest within her community. And that will be a win-win for her community, and the city of Chicago. More importantly, you hear some of the people out there saying that we don't want police. And every alderman, when we meet with block club presidents, when we meet with little old ladies in their basements for whatever the meetings they all are screaming, we want more police. We want more police patrol. As someone who has been an advocate for victims of Burge, and I sponsored the Commander Burge reparations ordinance, not only do I need police, I need police who are well-trained and socially conscious. I don't need the legacy of the city to be $500 million in payoffs for police misconduct. I need them to change the culture, and that's only going to happen with better recruits and better training.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So keeping on that police theme, recent reports show that Chicago police are falling short in attracting minority applicants. So what do you think about this reason?
I think that it's hard to attract educated African Americans, and I can speak for our community. I don't know about Latinos or Latinas. To attract them to go to that job. I had a lady who came to see me on Ward 9. She had her daughter with her who was in college and about to graduate. I said, well, do you think about taking the police exam? I don't want to be no police. I said, well, they make $100,000. What are you talking about? Why wouldn't you? That's a good job. Why wouldn't you want to do that? And it is the negative stereo typing of that job and all that has gone on about police, that culture that has pushed people away from wanting to be a police officer. I think we got to change that. I think that the only way that that job is going to change is if there are people who are of good conscience who want to come to that job and make the change from within.
Thank you. It looks like we have a caller. Caller, are you there?
I sure am. You know, Alderman Brookins, originally it was supposed to be just a library for the former President Obama, but now it's going to be a big building. Now almost going to take up the whole park. But that's okay. You know, if that's what you guys want, then that's what you get. But now about the police, who wants to be a policeman? I don't care how much money they're going to make. When all the city looks at them, like, you know, bad at them. It takes people like you and all other aldermen to get together with a bunch of people, white, black, Hispanic, everybody, young people, in a room and say, look, you're the ones who are going to change how the people look at the police in Chicago. That's how you do it. You don't do it by, I can't do this, or I can't. Get together, like the city used to be. This city used to be together all the time, but now it's so separated. You know.
Did we lose him?
I think so.
I think he said it maybe a little more articulate than I said it, and specifically is the young people are the change, and if you want it different, you got to be involved in it. We can do everything we can to encourage people to get the word out that these jobs are available, to work in changing the rules or the laws or et cetera. And we have to motivate those young people to want to go on the job. But ultimately, they have to take that test. They have to get themselves qualified in order to do it. And I think that it is incumbent upon the community, especially those who are concerned about what is going on in the past and that we're destined not to repeat that, to then get people who we know are well qualified, socially conscious, and will do a good job to take those jobs and make that change.
All right. You're watching Political Forum, a community service at CAN TV. I'm Carolyn Day, a board member here at CAN TV. This is a live interactive show, and you can call 312-738-1060 if you have a question today for the 21st Ward Alderman, Howard Brookins Jr. So moving on with some of our questions for you,
Okay.
Everyone wants to know. Compared to last year, the statistics show gun violence is down, the city compared to last year. So are you satisfied?
That's a great start. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Today I'm satisfied. What we don't know is, and when we've seen a spike in violence, is when there's been good weather. And so it has been exceptionally cold and rainy this spring season. We hope that that does not spike up. But again, it's incumbent upon all of us to do everything we can within our community to stop this violence. And it starts with seeing something, saying something. It also starts with making sure that we know each other and our family. People come to me and say, Alderman, how am I going to stop the violence? Well, it starts at home. One, know what your kids are doing. I have a teenage boy. I look in his room. He does not have a reasonable expectation of privacy in a room or a place that I'm paying the mortgage for. And so I need to make sure that he doesn't have a gun in his room, he doesn't have stuff that that should not belong, and that he's not the one causing it. Then it expands out. Okay, are his friends the troublemakers? Are those the ones that are doing it? You can't hang out with them. They can't come over here. And so it takes us, people of good conscience, as the village, to insulate ourselves, to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to not promote or tacitly condone the violence that is going on in our community.
Great, thank you. So it seems like we have a caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, and good evening, and thank you for taking the call. And Alderman Brookins, first of all, just remember that last thought that you just said is perfect. But I want to help you to remember one time we met up there on 87th Street at the Chinese restaurant, and we had a good talk. I truly enjoyed that. That was some years ago, and the management company I was telling you about that, well, I was about to open up. But anyway, getting back to what the gentleman first caller was saying, talking about police officers, $100,000 a year. You got to put that into the equation. I mean, a beautiful job. But listen, in a way, I know what he's trying to say and what you put in. Kids, people do not have respect anymore. There was a time a police officer was the most respected person in the neighborhood. Everybody knew everybody. If that man would have told, he walked down, how you doing? How's your new baby doing? Listen, we got to get out the corner. Yes, sir. But now we got people, and I'm not going to blame on all kids, because some of these are adults. They're ready to pull a gun out and shoot a police officer. I mean, my God, the name of this game is always to get home safely. I know I want to get home safely, but again, it goes back to that house, like you were saying. People laying around, you know what your kids are doing. If you got a gun and walking around and doing things, what you think your kids gonna do? They gonna do the same thing. But again, there's no more respect. We need to strip that, get it back to the old ways. Do I have a solution for it? You don't want to hear that. But again, we need to eliminate disrespectfulness. If we get back, everybody on the neighborhood, everybody on the block know what Chuck Nuck and all of them doing. You know, you got to say something, but you don't say nothing until something happens to you or your family. Then you want to flip your mouth out. But again, I think it's so wonderful to see you again. I don't get a chance to come in there that much to get the Chinese food. I remember a couple of orders you told me to check out, and it was really good. I hope you remember we was talking about my management company, and I did open that up. So again, listen, it's so good to see you again. I see you periodically on the news, and it's a wonderful thing. Yes, our ex-president deserved everything he have done for us, not just in the president. Think what he was doing for us before he became president. Think about the good things. Everybody always wanted to know about this other president. I'm not going to say his name, Ray, but I call him something else than our president. Everything you come out his mouth, he want to strip this man. But anyway, listen, let me get out there. I don't want to hog up the show. Thanks for taking the call. Let me get out there so I can hear your response. And y'all have a great night and a safe night.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you. He made a point, and I agree. A lot of people don't know, my father was a police officer for 14 years. They lived in the community, they worked in the community, and they knew people from the community. They treated them with dignity and respect, and they got dignity and respect back. It is unfortunately that some things have gone awry, and respect is a two-way street. We see people, and you name them. All of the news, everybody with the video camera in their pocket. We've seen the way a lot of African Americans, and it appears to be predominantly African Americans, who've been disrespected by the police, have been killed by the police, have been complying with the police, and they've still been shot by the police. And so respect is a two-way street. I've always told you that I can discipline or correct you if the first time I talk to you, it is not to discipline or correct you. And so if I come to you, hey Carol, how are you? You're more apt to receive me if I have a comment that, hey Carol, you know, when you're at work, your kid is wilding out. As opposed to the first time I see you, I'm yelling and screaming about your kid wilding out. And so I think we one have to change that culture. Certain police departments don't have that stigma that is attached. Take, for example, the Illinois State Police. The Illinois State Police, they'll come, the uniform is nice, pressed. They all appear to be in shape. They all seem to be 6 feet tall or higher or whatever. But when they come to your car, excuse me, ma'am, do you know what you were doing? May I see your license and your registration? They will yes sir you and yes ma'am you to death. They will come back. They will be professional. They'll give you the ticket and then say, have a nice day. And you'll be like, he gave me 10 tickets, but that guy was nice. The stereotypical Chicago police will call you all out of your name, may even throw in a racial slur, and search you and say, okay, go about your way. While he didn't give you any tickets, you have a bitter taste in your mouth about the way you were treated. And so we have to also impress upon our police officers that the way they start out with respect to a stop can escalate the situation. And we believe that these young people coming on the job will be the change that we need to get over that hump.
All right, thank you. So let's talk a little bit about your ward. What are the boundaries of your ward?
So the ward is almost a square from the Dan Ryan on the east to Damon on the west, from 79th Street on the north to 99th Street on the south. And it encompasses Auburn Gresham, Washington Heights, North Beverly, and a slither of Beverly, although they keep moving that boundary as to where Beverly is, because I swear when I was a kid, Beverly went as far as where Longwood was.
Okay. And you got some things happening over there at the Red Line bus stop?
We do, and so we were able to open up the first part of the Red Line terminal, which is on the south side of 95th Street. The north side and the complete renovation of the 95th Street terminal is set to be done by October, if I'm not mistaken. And we're ecstatic about it. It looks fabulous. It's easy to get in and out. It's clean, it's bright. They've got the high definition camera, so people should be safer there. The buses can transverse through in and out of the terminals with more ease. So we're really excited about the whole thing coming together, and they'll finally get that construction work off of 95th Street and then fix the streets on 95th Street.
Great, great. So we have a caller. Caller, are you there?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So I have a question for the alderman, and I guess it comes not so much to him in general, but the city and development. I like the idea of investment in neighborhoods, and from what I know about you and your ward, you've done a lot of investment in the neighborhood that have to do with businesses that people can enjoy. But when I look at the city council approving the Obama Library, which is investment that threatens to displace a lot of people, or the new police academy you talked about earlier that may also displace a lot of people, how can we invest in neighborhoods without displacing the residents that are currently there?
So I'm one that believes that, one, we as a community need to quit outsourcing the investment within our community. And what do I mean by that? When my parents moved to 93rd National and they bought the funeral home in 1970, all of the businesses that we frequent within the community were owned by African Americans. The liquor stores were owned by African Americans. The corner stores were owned by African Americans. The shoe shops were owned by African Americans, etc. And we, for whatever the reason, the people who cut the grass were African American, all from within the community. It seems that somehow we've gotten away from that and have outsourced our community to others. And we're at the mercy of them to come in and develop our community. And people say, well, we don't have the money and we don't have the investment. But there are many things. Just take, for example, the houses that have either been foreclosed on or abandoned that are in our communities. There are plenty of people in the community with Escalades and Porsches and etc. And some of these houses are sold for as cheap as $10,000 or $15,000. But we've allowed other people from outside of the communities to come in and buy those houses or to set up businesses, those same businesses that have been abandoned for 20 plus years. And so I think that we can start taking control by buying the shops, the people in the community, helping those people who live in the community that want to invest and want to do businesses within the community. And that's how we're going to get out of it. There was a hot dog vendor who sets up at my kids' Little League games. And he's like, hey, I'm looking for a permanent spot. I said, hey, there's a couple spots within the ward. I will help you. I will see if the Cook County Land Bank can get that property for you, if you can get in there and set up your business, and we'll frequent it. There are some mom and pop businesses in the 21st, like Poppin' Donuts, located near Longwood on 95th Street between Racine and Troop. Those are the things that, one, we have to frequent. Those are the things we have to promote. Those are the people we have to encourage, that everything shouldn't have to happen downtown. You can open a coffee shop. You can open a donut shop. You can do something right there in our community.
Great, thank you. So, Alderman, we only have just a few more minutes left in the
No,
show.
really?
Yeah. And so we want to know, do you have any final comments or things that you really want to talk about you didn't get a chance to share?
What I want to say is that, one, we need to know our neighbors. One, how we going to keep us safe? We need to know each other. We need to know the people on the block. We need to get organized. We need to form block clubs and know what is going on within our community. And then the second thing I'll push back on, we still need to invest within our community and shop within our community. The theater on 87th and the Dan Ryan Studio Movie Grill, they put millions of dollars in investment there, and it's paying off in spades. The place is beautiful. We got to be open to new things within our community too. Within the 21st Ward, we have a winery, and Wild Blossom Winery, which is on 90th and Hermitage in the 21st Ward. So we got to be open to new things. We got to frequent the things. And then things that we don't like in our community, we have the power to change those things if we come together. And when we come together, the first time I come at you can't be something negative. Let's know each other, and then you'll be more willing to accept the criticism.
Great. Thank you so much. Again, if you'd like to reach Alderman Brookins Jr., you may reach him at 9011 South Ashland Avenue. He can be reached at 773-881-9300, Ward 21 at cityofchicago.org. Website, howardbrookinsjr.com. Alderman Brookins, thank you so much for appearing on Political Forum.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you, viewers, for calling with your questions. Our telephone technician has been Sylvia, and Political Forum is brought to you as a community service by CAN TV. Please join us every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. here on CAN TV 21 and cantv.org/hotline.